So lately, I've been thinking about my place in the world, what it means to be alive, and all that stuff. Typical existential crisis stuff. I started to think about how I felt so special and unique as a child. I felt like I was the main character and everything revolved around me. The fact that I was placed in the gifted classes probably didn't help my ego either. For a long time growing up, it seemed to me like I was destined to be this super important person. And now I'm a legal adult just trying to find his place in the world between school, work, and all that other soul draining stuff. For a lot of people today, including myself, it can feel like we're watching our lives go by instead of truly living them. Stuck in our routines day in and day out turns us into zombies. Not to mention scrolling on social media, watching others do cool things while we sit in bed. I mention all this to say, when you take a step back, you realize that maybe you're actually not that special. And that's okay. I mentioned this idea briefly in my Attack on Titan video a while back, and I think it presents a beautiful perspective on this topic. Okay, before you hit me with the whole everyone's special, we're all unique in our own way, I just want to say people like you are the problem. As a kid, everyone's gassed up to be the most talented, special little thing, and that's how we end up with entitled influencers thinking they're more important than they really are. Generally speaking, I think it's fair to say that most people in reality are average. Not to say they don't have anything unique at all about them, but for the most part, we all do and want the same things from life. We want to be well off financially, we want to love and be loved, we want to laugh and cry with the people we care about the most. And I think that in itself is a beautiful thing. Now, I want to dive into what Attack on Titan has to say on this topic exactly. In the Season 3 episode Bystander, we visit Commander Keith Shadis, who trained our main trio in the beginning of the show. This episode hits hard for me because it's a little too real. It's something I think a lot of people can really relate to. We learn some of Keith's backstory and how he dreamed of being someone who inspired change. After being praised by Aaron's father, Grisha, Keith got the idea that once he was appointed commander, he'd be able to accomplish great things, and in his mind, he belittled others who thought too small. He would eventually go on to become commander, but things didn't go as he hoped. Piece by piece, it became more and more apparent that he wasn't going to be this universally acknowledged person. When he's appointed as commander, no one is there to congratulate him, and he watches on as Grisha makes a real difference in the town as a doctor. And Grisha ends up marrying Carla, the woman Keith was interested in previously, and they go on to have their child, Aaron. Keith's hardships continue as he continues to fail as commander of the Scouts. Naturally, this all starts to weigh on him as he feels increasingly insignificant. Seeing Grisha, the one who initially called him a chosen one, be acknowledged on top of marrying someone Keith liked first was understandably a big blow to his ego. He grew bitter and a bit resentful at the whole situation. He resigns himself to the idea that special people do in fact exist, but he's simply not one of them. This inferiority complex isn't uncommon for people to feel from time to time. When we see others around us accomplishing great things, it's easy for us to compare ourselves to them and feel small. And we think about all our past failures and how hopeless we are. Comparison is the thief of joy, and social media is a highlight reel of everyone else's life. Comparing ourselves to others through social media was always going to be a recipe for low self-esteem and overall lack of confidence. Keith lashes out at Carla due to his resentment towards this whole situation. And he berates her for kind of leading him on in a sense, and says that most people die without doing anything significant because they all lack ambition and imagination. Now, to an extent, I agree with what he said here, but Carla responds with something that actually changed how I think about this topic completely.
特別じゃなきゃいけないんですか？私はそうは思いませんよ。少なくともこの子は偉大になんてならなくてもいい。人より優れていなくたって だって見てくださいよ。こんなに可愛い。だからこの子はもう偉いんです。この世界に生まれてきてくれたんだから。
Essentially, the sentiment here is that we don't need to be this widely recognized person in order to be of value and importance. The only thing that really matters is to love and be loved by those around you. You might not feel special all the time, but take a second to look around you. You're real, and you do exist. I love how Carla said that it's fine if her son is never especially great. He's already special to her. I think at our core, that's all we really desire. We want to be valued by someone that we value. You, watching this video, were also born into this world. Every day you wake up is an opportunity to make the most of whatever your situation is. It might sound idealistic, but I really do believe we always have a choice. So in a sense, I guess I retract my earlier statement about how not everyone is special. Sure, not everyone is going to be a super influential world leader or whatever, but as a collective, we get to be a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. The human experience is filled with things that words can't fully describe, from extreme love and joy to extreme anguish and everything in between. It's only when we take a step back to look at everything around us that we're able to be grateful for all that we have. We were all born into this world, whether we wanted to be here or not. But in my opinion, special people aren't born. They're formed by all the things life throws our way. And because of that, I think everyone has the innate ability to do great things, regardless of whether or not that potential is actually realized. And because everyone can do it, maybe that means everyone actually is special. At least, that's what I think.